Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. Today we take a look at an idea that Alex Hudson had. He came up with something that maybe helps me to get this ground in check, basically. And we will see if we can work that out today or if that will be a bit of a longer process. You can see stuff back there that hopefully helps us. I ripped out the whole ground. You can see that there were no suggestions basically, except for Alex Hudson that maybe asked maybe we can leave that in and repark the whole thing. But at that point, I already had just ripped out the whole ground. It was not a completely big deal because this thing has the built-in repair system. So I could just drive to the beginning, paint the whole thing, and then it just gradually got ripped out, and it works better now. So we did a bit of speculation where that comes from, where the problem is, that this whole thing then sinks into it. And again, it seems to be a lot better with the normal wheels and just on the voxels. I'm not sure if everything behaves differently with voxels instead of the blocks, but the main reason for why they would start to sink in and why the physics and the whole system just borks out, it's, I think, subgrids. You have to see that this is the front is the main grid, and then because of the hinge or the attachment, it's this trailer in the back is the third or so subgrid. So we have one subgrid, a second subgrid, and then the fourth subgrid is the trailer itself. And then the wheels are a subgrid. And then if you put on a piston and add something to that and try to get that to do something with the ground here or with the blocks here, makes it a subgrid again. Alex Hudson had the idea that also it could be that if you unlock it from the grid itself, that basically, I don't know how locking down works, if it doesn't get put into the same grid, but it behaves like that, and then unlocking it could lead to problems if you then also have the subgrid damage turned off. This just leads to problems, and the problems seem to be less with the voxels. So what I would like to reach is flat ground here, because now the whole thing is tilted to the side, and what we could try is flatten out the ground. And Alex Hudson made the suggestion to maybe use a machine for that is a bit similar to the train that we built in the station around the alien planet, and that's a good idea. And so I built something like that, or prepared it, and that's what I came up with. So we have a long bar that is clamped onto this wall with some wheels, and what I want to do now is add some drills, and then or I want to have drills below this thing and then alternate it so that we don't get the grooves into the ground. And if there will be some grooves, then we can flatten that out with alternated drills to that. This is just a mock-up. I just wanted to see how long the drill itself is and how long we have until we reach the ground. And you can already see that there are some blocks missing to the way over there. That's how uneven the ground is here. I flattened out the whole area here because there were a lot of damaged areas because of issues with the grid itself and exploding blocks. I used the voxel hand to flatten that out. That's pretty neat. And now we go in and flatten it all again with the drills, and we just go forward until we reach this area here, and then we maybe just put a few blocks in there that help us to get over maybe the step that might appear here. I'm not sure yet how to do it. Maybe we bring the whole thing up a bit in the end, and so that we hopefully get a shallow incline kind of. We will finish the drill rig, and then we move the truck out of the way. You can see I've locked it down right now with just a few blocks on the normal voxels. This seems to be a lot more stable. Let me also show you this here. This is the beginning of a locking system I'm planning that can lock the whole system, can lock the base to the truck or the other way around. I'm planning to have a hinge that is movable, or a system that is movable. I want to have a piston that moves the whole thing into that direction, and then a piston that moves the whole system into that direction, and then pistons that move it up and down. I want to try to do something where the pistons basically are set to go to 5 meters and then lock everything to it, so that I have room to the left and to the right to bring that out. And the same will happen here. So I have the piston here, then it sticks out to 5 meters. That's it. That's its zero position basically, so that I can go 5 meters into that direction, 5 meters into that direction, and have a bit of wiggle room when it comes to reaching this connector. The whole thing hopefully is able to swing in, because you can see that at the moment, if I would do it, the whole thing would reach to somewhere here, and that's a bit close for comfort, I have the feeling. So I will make it in a way where the bottom part can swing up and lock to maybe, I don't know, lock or just stay to, don't know, somewhere here, though, so that I have a bit more room to work with. It's just a thing that I need to address when the whole flattening has happened. It will be a bit unnerving to now flatten that out, because if that doesn't work, I have to go in and flatten the whole thing again with voxel hands. The voxel hands are not too precise. There is a flatten mode, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We will have to see. But let us continue with the drilling rig. I will put in the drills and maybe add some cargo containers. I want all the stone that comes with that, so that we can reuse that. Now there's a use for stone, and I definitely want to reuse that. On yesterday, on Sunday, I had a good talk with my subscribers, and we had some with the people on my Discord, let's say it that way. And it was nice. We had I sat down in one of the voice chats, and we just talked for a few hours. Was really nice. Really appreciate the people coming out. I did that because I had someone ask in one of my live streams how this whole YouTube thing works and what you need and all that stuff. I'm not the best guy to ask there, but I tried my best to give honest answers and to be as not transparent as possible, but be as hopefully I had some good answers for him. Okay, let us see. We should be able to drive that thing. I'm not sure why it refuses to work right now. Propulsion is set. Strength, maybe we bring that up a bit. Oh, the thrusters are on. Why are the thrusters turned on? I turned them off. It's so weird. See, the thrusters are turned off, but still it is able to fly. Why is that the case? Oh, the large thrusters still turned on. Okay, that needs to be turned off. I just have the thrusters on here so that I could move the thing over. I built that thing in here, then put a cockpit on there with a reactor, lifted it out of there, and did some measurements and all that stuff on the side here, and then lifted it back in. That worked out pretty well, I have to say. Good, we will have to find a ground for the whole thing. So I hope that this works. Should we start in the middle, maybe? Maybe we start in the middle with the whole thing. I measured it out, and this is the middle of the whole thing. I want to bring it down a bit. 1, 2, 3. So one of the drills is 6 blocks long, and maybe we go down 4 blocks. I should put in a conveyor there. I hope that this is enough and that I can reach to everywhere. And I don't run into weight issues. That's my main concern. That I kind of run into weight issues that break the whole system here. I had this set in front of the whole big rig, or the crawler, or however we want to call it. I don't have a good name for this thing. And then something happened with that also involves crazy overpowered cargo drones, and the whole thing broke in the middle. I was completely bummed out by that, but it worked out. I used merge blocks to reconnect the whole thing. Worked out pretty well, but it was a bit the whole thing went crazy. My cargo drones are not cheaty, but let's say it that way, the cargo drones are completely overpowered. The thrusters I'm using on there are the evasive gravitic somethings, and they are I'm using the overpowered version of them. There's if you use the pack, you get all the versions, and I used the overpowered ones for my cargo drones because the cargo drones, I kind of have the feeling I can use them in that way. Okay, what do we need for the... Do we need some tubes? No, steel plates. Why can't I? Oh, now it starts that this thing is maybe 8. Yeah, now it... See, now I run into problems. I might have to go 1 block higher so that I, in the end, can yeah, can flatten the whole ground without the whole system running into problems. So and I connected the cargo drone back up because I needed some stuff from orbit to the truck, and the truck was not locked down. So the cargo drone attached, and then because of movement issues, the SAM script doesn't turn off the dampeners. So the whole thing moved, the dampeners kicked in, tried to compensate, overcompensated, and in the end, the whole truck was up in the air. The whole thing. Front, everything attached, hovering somewhere there, and slowly moving. So my cargo drones are able to lift up the whole truck. And that's crazy powerful. But again, it's something I'm okay with. I need them to be powerful to just be able to go in and bring in everything that I want them to bring in. And so I greatly appreciate the overpowered nature of these things, but that they are able to lift the whole truck up into the air. That's just crazy. But the good thing is they are so powerful that I could use the whole drone to just gently place the truck down again, move it out of the way, disconnect the whole drone, and then everything worked. It was really nice, had no problems with it, but I will have to figure out a way how we can deal with that. If the cargo drones should be just used for the station here, or if I can, don't know, maybe just use the lockdown mechanism to bring it down, or if it would be better to just have it attached to the front so that it kind of attaches to the main grid. Good, you can see this will be the drill row, and this will in the end be the height of the terrain here. And I again now want to alternate the drills so that I get rid of any grooves or something like that I might get. This hopefully will work out. Maybe I leave a bit of space in the middle. I will set that up now, and then I have to pipe it all up to some cargo containers, and then I have to see how we empty that out in the end. That should work. Maybe we can just lift the whole thing up and pipe everything into a container somewhere or something like that. We will have to see how that works out. Good, let me set up the other drills, and then we hopefully can make our first pass today. However I get the stone out of the containers up there will be decided later. I've added another large thruster. I need to turn that off before I start the whole thing up, and hopefully this works. It seems to be balanced, and you can see that I have alternating drills in here now, so that we hopefully get a relatively smooth finish on this whole thing. And we should be able to drive it forward and hopefully smooth that out. I will move the rig now, and then we start that. I hope everything works out well and we don't run into any problems. That would be absolutely great if we could just have a bit of a success there with the whole thing. Hopefully not breaking, hopefully not making any... No. The rig rolled backwards. That's not good. I hope nothing damaged there. Nothing got damaged. It's the gantry above that makes problems here. But it seems that we can just drive under it. The gantry is nice. I took a bit of a lesson from the pirate base. I used the same pillars that this thing uses, and that's a really neat idea. I will just park the whole thing somewhere here. I might in the end make the walls a bit shorter that I have there, because it doesn't need to be that long anymore. The length was kind of dictated by the fact that I didn't want to have too steep of an incline. But now if we don't use that anymore, we can just make it shorter. I will leave the thing here, and hopefully it doesn't roll away on us. That would be good. Now with before I used whips, I think it's a script by whip that makes it so that wheels on subgrids react to the input from the cockpit. That the script is gone now, and so the whole thing that reacts is only the front wheels. So this back part doesn't react anymore. So it doesn't drive, it is not pushing, it is not steering, it is doing nothing. And it also is not activating the brakes. So sometimes it happens that this thing is on an incline and then it pulls the whole front part with it. Good. We need to remove these blocks. Later we can bring them back in. It's just, these are just here to lock the whole system down. And we will bring them back in. Having these blocks is really nice, but again though, the whole thing is crooked, and so with that we might be able to alleviate our problem there. I hope this whole thing works out. I can only hope that we don't run into too crazy problems. Okay, it still rolls. That's a good thing. And now we just go into here, turn on the block tools, and hope that this thing works out, that the incline will go a bit back, so that the wheels or we hopefully get a more gradual start with the whole thing if we are back here. Okay, let us do it. I would say start the rotor, start the plane, and now we just slowly roll forward and hopefully flatten out the area a bit. We get waves in it. That's bad. That's the one thing I didn't want to have, the waves in there. Although it's better. It's diagonal lines. That usually happens when the whole system doesn't know where to go, or when the voxels kind of start to not bug out, but I think that's a good sign that we get these diagonal lines in there. Hopefully this works out, and hopefully I can get past I might have to remove the back part there behind the cockpit. Maybe I also just cut a block out of the pillars there. But does it work? That's the question. Oh, it works really well. It works really well. See that? This is... It looks differently, but this is flat. That's really nice. Alex, that was a really great idea. It seems to be bumpy, and it is bumpy, but when it comes to the voxels, it's now flat. We will not be able to get it flatter, because the voxels just are not made that way, that they are where I'm able to get a really flat landscape. The good thing now is that I can drive the whole thing onto it, and it hopefully is just it just sits on the ground and is, again, it is flat now with the area. I will have to put a block in here, and I will have to put a block in here, and I might just take out some blocks here so we don't have to remove the reactor there. On this side it might not even be necessary, but oh yeah, it is necessary. So we remove the bottom layer of this and this upper layer, and I will do the same thing on the other side, just so I don't have to remove anything and I don't have to get rid of any blocks there. Neat, neat, neat. I hope it doesn't hang too low. No, that seems to be okay. It is hanging above the... Okay, here it works out too. And we just remove some blocks here. I should just use the spray gun. I hope that's enough. On this side, bringing that back in should be the smallest of our problems. Good, let us continue to flatten this area. I will continue doing that, and then we will park the big rig back up here and hopefully have a really nice place where we can work on the big rig. That's my main concern. I want a place where I have the big rig straight, and I don't need to don't need to do crazy things to prop it up, or a relatively flat workspace is something you should work for. Good. Let me finish this here. Okay, now I'm running to start into a problem, because you can see that the height of the ground there is a lot higher than over there, and the drills can't dig into that anymore. Now I hope that I can just use the drive here to maybe prop the whole thing up, and hopefully I'm able to get around that. Hopefully we will just go for the extreme, pump the whole thing up. No, it didn't pump up, it even went down. That's bad. No, we can't pump it up anymore. So now we have to find a solution for that. I know what we could do. We could add another layer of drills to maybe alleviate that. Let me see. We go back and bring the drive back down. Yeah, I should have known. I thought that would be the solution. That's dumb. It lifts the wheel up and doesn't go down anymore. So maybe we add just another layer of drills in front of the whole thing that's a bit higher up, so that we can just drive again into this, and then hopefully we can flatten out the rest. And then we need to find a solution to have a bit more of a gradual step, because this is maybe too brutal. But the other layer of drills might help solve the whole problem. I hope that we are close enough to the whole rig that we can do that. Good. Let me start with that, and I will come back to you when that is finished. So that is the next row of drills, and I've put in at least a bit of a counterweight. so that this thing doesn't tip. If that is not enough, I will add a set of wheels. You can see that it slightly changes to the front. I hope it works out and the voxels don't go too ham on me, but we will see. Now I should be able to continue the drilling here with hopefully everything working out. Something is happening on the other side. It is something is catching up here. That doesn't work. What could that be? No, stop it. Everything went right. If something goes wrong now, that would get me, because that wouldn't be fine. Everything worked out really well so far, and it would be aggravating if something goes wrong now. That would just be wrong. Okay, it could be these wheels that. Oh, yeah, you can see that it shifted to one side. Maybe we can just activate the thrusters for a moment and just push it back, so that hopefully helps. Don't activate the large ones, just the small ones, so that we can hopefully push it over again. Maybe we also need the large ones, just so that we can slightly push it back into position again. Okay, it's just not enough. It's just not enough. Can we use the wheels to maybe push it out of alignment again? Can we maybe this is just nerve-wracking. Okay, maybe put in more thrusters, and then we might add another set of gyros, just so that we can hopefully slowly push it back. That would be neat. Otherwise maybe we can also go and just have it turn a bit. If I hold against it and turn it into the right direction, maybe the gyros will help to get rid of our problem here. Come on. Please, please turn. Please, 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 please turn. No, the whole thing is just too heavy to work out right now. Should we go for a bit of a bigger push? A big push would be nice. We'll go forward a bit again. We could use the steering. Should we try that? Maybe use the steering of the wheels. How does it react on the other side? We could use that and try this. I don't want to go too brutal with it. It might not help us if we just try to be really brutal with it. Let me try to figure that out. That's a snag I didn't see. Yeah, I will see what I can do here. We'll be back in a second. In the end, I just used the force of the wheels themselves. Hopefully that is enough to now keep us in line and away from the wall. It still snags. Why? Maybe now the force is too much. Maybe now the clamps don't react well to everything. I will go down with it again. And maybe now it doesn't. Where is it making problems now? This is just... Where is it hanging up now? It shouldn't be, but it does, and I don't know why and where. Pushing on. I will get that done in the end. This will happen. I want this to be finished now, but I don't want to go too crazy on it. Okay, we'll be back in a bit. I will finish that now. Otherwise, I will scream into this mic. This is not good. Everything kept out working, and look at this slope. It's hopefully drivable for that thing. I hope that works out. I don't seem to be able to get it better. If I need to do anything, then I might just put a few blocks here. That then might help out to just bring us up the slope. So this thing can drive up the normal two slopes, these ones. And let us just take a look at it. So if it can get this done, then this slope shouldn't be a problem for it, I would say. Oh, it's so nice. Now we bring the truck around and drive it in here and see if that works out. That again, this should work out. This is as flat, I think, as it can be. There is no way to flatten it out more because these diagonal lines will not go away. So if that's a bit of a bumpy ride, I don't have a problem with it. We bring that thing around, park it in here, and then we will see how good that works out. It's so nice. And then we have to do something with this thing. If I will take a blueprint of it. That's one thing I would definitely will do. And on the other hand, we could then just grind it down. It will not be needed here. Let us be true to ourselves. Grind it down, and then the stone will automatically be put into the system. So that's a good thing. Let us. Ooh, I will drive that thing around and I will meet you back when it's in position again, or when we drive into position. I hope this works out. The ride itself is a bit bumpy, but I have to say it makes a lot more sense. I have the feeling that everything is a lot straighter than it was before. That is so neat. That is so neat. I did a second pass with a before I parked that thing. I made a second pass with a plane basically, and now I'm sitting in here, and it is the whole thing is really straight in there. When it comes to the height and all that stuff. Again, driving in here, yeah, with these waves, it gets bumpy, but having it stand in here, that flat is really, really nice. And now we can, yeah, hook it up to the gantry that's up there, and everything seems to be a lot, see, it's straightened out, and we can now make connections that are really, really nice. And this thing, again, now I can just bring it closer to it, then grind it down. And again, the whole system should pick up the stone, should pick up everything that's in there. So that was really nice. But I will take a blueprint of this if we ever need it again. Then we can just build it again. And that worked out better than I thought. That worked out a lot better than I thought. Good people, but I think that's all for today. We did all this work today. Oh, really nice. Good people. Let me know what you think of this. I will now build again the connections so that I can hook that up to the ground again. That's, see how bumpy this is. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We're going up and down. But again, that's a lot better than it was before. The whole thing standing completely crooked on the ground. That's also not really helpful. Good people. Thanks for watching, I would say. Hope you liked the episode. If you did, then please leave a like on the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. See ya, guys.